Welcome to the Earth Goodwill Project. Today's astrological energy readings for the full moon of Aquarius, beginning with 3rd of August 2020. The Mercury opposes Saturn on the 3rd of August and the full moon goes into Aquarius. So the themes for this Aquarian full moon are revolutionary change, challenging aspects and confrontational energies, major, sudden, intense energies during this period, changing in one's belief systems, spiritual awakenings, collective pattern shattering paradigm shifts, and moving on from constricting energies in the new moon from Cancer last fortnight, which was restricted by Saturn. So the moon comes and transverses through Sagittarius to Capricorn and conjuncts with Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter. Then it comes into the Aquarius full moon. It opposes the Sun T-square Uranus in Taurus, and then a strong rebellious Uranus energy comes to the fore, and that has little consideration of cooperation, harmony and collective goodwill. So during this full moon period, Chiron, Neptune, Venus, Uranus, Vesta, North Lunar Node, Mercury, Mars, Lilith, they all transit between the Sun and the Moon during this period. So it's a jam-packed astrological period of intense and dynamic action. And the moon transits and activates through each of these planets and elements and brings their energies to the forefront. So looking at the full moon period is a time traditionally to take time to relax, recharge, let go of things in one's life, clean out one's life, replenish their inner strength. And with this full moon in Aquarius, traditionally this is a time ripe for celebrating life and making the most out of going to parties and gatherings and social opportunities. However, during this virus period of 2020, these aspects will be restricted. The moon totem for Aquarian full moon in August 3, 2020 is frog. The path has been cleared for you to make changes that previously seemed unachievable. The secondary moon totem for this Aquarian full moon period is cat. Make time to focus on your spiritual well-being and connect to the metaphysical world around you. Looking deeper into the Aquarius full moon from August 3, 2020 over the coming month, with this full moon in Aquarius, it triggers revolutions and rebellious energy of Uranus. So Jupiter conjuncts the south node of Pluto for the week of the 3rd of August, and the full moon is a great time to end projects, end relationships that no longer serve you, thought and patterns that are outdated, and to begin a new cycle in your life. August 4, Mercury rules communications, and that's transiting through emotional Cancer. So that moves into an outgoing, passionate, confident Leo over the coming month. During this time, Venus conjuncts the north node of the moon around the 4th of August, and from the 3rd to the 6th of August, the moon transits through Venus and Neptune. So this affects perceptions, illusions, mistakes, disappointments versus the reality of things, how they really are. So this shadowy aspect will last for around 2 weeks, and moon and the north node, them combined, presents illusions in one's life. So things may present as one thing, but reality, there's something behind the scenes. So Venus and Neptune influences physical, mental, emotional, hormonal, circulation, health-related matters. It also influences personal desires and love-based relationships, and there'll be a focus on health and well-being during this time. During this period, Vesta and Mercury harmonize with Neptune, so it's a good time to contemplate and think rationally, to be reasonable rather than acting on subjective wants and desires. A great time to contemplate financial budgeting and understand where one puts one's energies and time with certain people and groups. Vesta also influences one to think rationally and make wise decisions. So Pluto represents cleaning up and cutting out old stuff. It's a wise time during this period to spring clean, to seize unproductive activities, to cut the excess fat, undertake clean eating regimes, engage in exercise programs, meditation, daily routines. Saturn represents focus and correct action to achieve one's goals. So through this process, one is more likely to find aspects of Jupiter representing success, evolution and expansion. So with the gradual march of Mars through Aries and Mars squaring with Jupiter from the 4th to the 7th of August, we're going to find a very high pressure environment. So this will be fantastic or not so fantastic depending on how one
use such energy opportunities. There may be rebellions, protests, pressure cooker environment waiting to explode. This could be an exciting time with revolutions around the world, protests, fight for freedoms, liberation. So this Uranus rebellion will be very similar to the French Revolution, however with a Mark 2020 type of flavour. From the 7th to the 10th of August, the moon transits through Aries and there's energy of Mars. So with Mars activating Chiron and Lilith black moon energies. So Mars is a bold and action-orientated planet, and when it transits Aries, there'll be strong influences with, and also with Mars and squaring in Jupiter. So truth and justice will also come to the fore during this period. So when the moon transits in Aries, it's an important time to be super careful, to act sensibly and wisely, and not to become infected with the virus that's floating around the world, and not to intermingle with other people who may transmit the virus to you. So it's a wise time to stay safe, stay at home, and this is especially the case with the young and footloose groups of individuals who may feel that they're healthy and invincible and let their guard down. So Mars has a fiery, impulsive and reactive energy, and this may fuel the protests and riots and rebellious energy of mature and youthful people around the world. So on 8th of August, the moon reaches Chiron, and there's a strong Aries influence with Chiron ruling health and healing and the unknown darkness, the dark moon of Lilith. On the 9th of August, the moon transits through Lilith and Mars, and it harmonises in the south node. So it's a good time to learn from past mistakes and improve upon those past errors of judgment and action. So during this time, good leadership stems from change management, risk management practices. On the 10th of August, the moon transits through Uranus. So the sun, the moon, Uranus, they all conjunct, and Uranus represents change. Taurus represents the earth, so they'll be focused during this period on sustainable living, connection with the Earth's ecological system, healthy food production. There may be unexpected events that will come to the fore, being released from Mother Earth. These may be extreme weather events. There could be shifting of tectonic plates, volcanoes, massive tides, tsunamis and the like. So these extreme weather events may happen across China, Japan, United States of America, particularly California, Australia and New Zealand. Alternatively, they could happen in other points where there's weaknesses in the tectonic plates. The outcomes of these sudden earth changes will make people wake up and respect Mother Earth and its ecosystems and all sentient beings on Mother Earth. There'll be a newfound focus on respect for and caring for Mother Earth for many people across the world, not just a select few. There's potential during this period for bombs to be dropped. However, if light workers transmute this reality as a collective and turn it into metaphorical bombs, then that would be the preferred alternate course of reality and the highest potential timeline. Several days post this period, the moon reaches Vesta and Mercury, and this opposes Pluto, Jupiter and Saturn. Mercury represents the mental faculties, thoughts, air. Jupiter represents balance and harmony. And with these communications and learning highlighted, Jupiter and Saturn suggest to lighten the load in one's life, and to achieve one's goals moving forward is to trim the fat, to cut back to only essential items in one's life, and be mindful how one spends their money, their time, their energy. There could be a renewed focus on the global economic situation, particularly in America, and this will be highlighted again as an ongoing theme throughout 2020 and into 2021. During this period also the moon is in Sagittarius and it grand trines with the sun, the moon and Chiron, so it's a favourable time for healing. And with Mercury in Cancer, communications revolve around people's fears and their needs and insecurities. So the issues of employment and housing stability, adequate healthcare, proper daily nutrition, clean access to clean drinking water, these will all be topics of global discussion. And societal and business structures and career security may also come into the global discussion pot. So the key here during this time is pivoting, agility, adapting to changing circumstances in the world and global economies. With Mercury in opposition to Saturn, external communications may be blocked, and there may be instances where personal and business communications may be impaired or severed, thus ending relationships to bring about much needed overdue changes. Alternatively, these communications may be blocked due to network outages, server outages, or disruptions to the telecommunications infrastructure at different points in the world. Saturn then returns to Capricorn, so old lessons that one hasn't learned and outdated relationships again come to the forefront, and one either learns a lesson and moves on, or they repeat the same lesson because they've made the same mistake over and over again. With Cancer opposing Saturn and Jupiter in Capricorn, this represents a bolder side of government and law enforcement and patriarchal systems of governance and control and authority. These systems, outdated systems, will attempt to control the masses of people. So think martial law, curfews, sudden changes, riots, rebellious energy, and trying to bring that back from chaos into order. During this period, it may look like the world is headed for a revolution. However, unlike the 1960s with the bell-bottoms and the flower powers and the acid and the free love and the wild sex, this time in 2020 there'll be a paradigmatic revolutionary shift, and it'll be quite different. This time in 2020 we'll see more restrictions due to the rapid spread of the virus across America and possible shocks across the American financial stock markets during the first half of August, similar to what we saw in February 2020. There may be communication issues, and there may be issues with communications or uncertainty related to the American presidency election. So it will be a very intense, volatile time for the American markets and society during August 2020. So the new norm for August 2020 onwards is to operate outside the status quo. There'll be new developments in the medical system and the health industry. These will all be exciting developments with new treatment therapies to treat the global virus. Conservative people may raise their eyelids, and light workers and natural therapies will breathe a collective sigh of relief, stating it's about time with these new treatment therapies and options. So it's a time to expect the unexpected, as everything is about to change for the better. So old patriarchal systems of governments will start to drop and fade away and be replaced by new systems of order. So around the 7th of August, Venus goes into Cancer for around a month. So there'll be a focus on family matters, home-related matters, and with Venus in Gemini, which rules creativity and pleasure-seeking and beauty and love and harmony, there'll be focus on communicating, thinking, mental cognition. There'll also be an anxious energy in the air, with a focus also on wanting to break free of that Uranian energy and interact with other people. So when this moon transits through Venus, there'll be discussions about individuals' needs to live within relationships and their needs in family and business relations. On the 7th of August, Sun goes exact with Chiron as well. Now, the August 10th, Mercury is in Leo, and that's a hard angle with rebellious Uranus. So Mercury governs upsetting communications. So it would be a good time to flip the script and think outside the box to overcome the government restrictions, the curfews, the martial laws, the limits on one's freedoms. It's a great time to learn new skills online and upskill for new career paths through online platforms. 12th to 13th of August, fiery Mars conflicts with the fighting spirit of Pluto. So Pluto represents change, death and rebirth. So this signals major changes are coming. There will be a focus on global protests, constitutional rights, Bill of Rights, human rights, rights to free speech, rights to freedom of movement, rights to engage in commerce and earn a living, right to equal access to good healthcare, and rights to clean drinking water. There will be a great time to renovate and build homes, spring clean one's home, move to a new place of residence, with Mars fiery action and the plutonic changes. And the full moon in high energy Aquarius also brings very sudden, sharp, concise, striking rebellious events. So the foundation of the existence we once took for granted will be shaken to the core. The moon transits through Venus on 14th of August, and as Uranus, the rebellious aspect of it, tries to break free during this period from government restrictions and business and travel and health restrictions, there will be some major changes and major intense energies during that period. August 15 will have rebellious Uranus will retrograde for several months, and this urgency to break free and change one's routines, their homes, get out of a rut, change their careers, and change government restrictions will come to the surface. On the 16th of August, Mercury is in harmony with Mars, and Mars is in harmony with the Sun. So there's progress moving forward with one's life. On the 17th of August, the moon transits through Mercury, and during this time, things will be brought to light during this whole period from the 3rd of August onwards, particularly over the following 2 weeks to the 17th of August. Collectively, aspects of the world will be shaken to the ground. We'll have shaky foundations. We'll have metaphorical truth bombs being dropped, and outdated paradigms and philosophies be shattered. There will be global revelations of wrongdoing. Things will be shaken up. There's a potential for Watergate-style truth bombs to leak out from multi-dimensional timelines. The sources and the distribution of the truth bombs and their payloads being dropped from the most unexpected sources. So think judges, senior doctors, former presidents, former prime ministers, state leaders, senior military, police and government figures, with the pressure cooker conditions and environments is shaking everyone up to the core and bringing out hidden truths to the surface. So this is not a time to sit back and eat popcorn. It'll be big, it'll be badass, it'll be explosive. It is a time to sing like a canary from the hilltops and broadcast it across Mother Earth, across many social media platforms. It is a time for revolution and breaking free from the chains that bind society and limit their freedoms. This Aquarian full moon period will influence explosive revelations, extraordinary outbursts, scandalous leaks on a personal, family, societal, regional, national and global levels. And once unknown actors release their legal estoppel plugs, it'll be a free-for-all. The world will just let it rip and sing a new song. So when Aquarius combines with Uranus in Taurus, there's a T-square with Uranus in Taurus. So this will bring spiritual awakenings, extreme revelations, extraordinary revolutions, creativity, massive change, and new experiences. Uranus also rules shocking events and trauma that may result from rebellions. So this is a time to exercise extreme caution with one's actions if engaged in protest and to be safe. The rebellious nature of Uranus senses restrictive influences being discarded within people's belief systems, their philosophies, their minds, their family units, their relationships, societal structures, geographical regions, and national and global boundaries and laws. People across the world will step up and demand change, and they'll voice their opinions and shout from the rooftops. So with these intense dynamic energies, paradigms will be smashed, relationships and routines will be broken and rebuilt from the ground up if they are inauthentic, lacking transparency, or past their use by date. Uranus in T-square also suggests new resources, new hobbies, new home-based businesses and online business opportunities in focus. So with Uranus, the unconscious mind awakens hidden sensitivities and gifts and skills and abilities, and these energies will come into focus. So one will break out of ruts, they'll try new hairstyles, new branding, new wardrobe, new homes, new relationships, new life focus. They'll develop new skills, develop new online friendships and educational groups, and have a new vision of their life moving forward. Uranus has confrontational aspects, so it's wise to flip the script and create positive new skills during this tumultuous period, rather than engaging in angry outbursts and violent protests on the street with rioters. It's also a good time to see internally what needs to be brought to the surface and healed, and what triggers one is being influenced by and what the universe is mirroring back to us. With this spiritual awakening, we're moving from a masculine and feminine focus to more of a heart-based unity consciousness. And from this revolution period comes peace and also forgiveness and healing and insights and acceptance and understanding at a personal and global level. So the sun in Leo, it governs personal relations, and the sun shines on Leos. So Leo is the individual. It is strong. It represents one's personality and ego and the I am. So expect a lot of self-promotional activities during this period on the global stage. On the 22nd of August, the sun transits away from Leo. So care is warranted with interacting with third parties due to potential virus threats during this period. And the sun during this time is also opposite to the moon in Aquarius. So Aquarius governs societal and collective groups, local, regional, national, global populations. So the limitation of travel and movements will bring up issues between groups of people during this period. So the lesson here is to balance the needs of the collective with individual requirements. So the requirements of Leo and the requirements of Aquarius, to find a happier medium, a balance of the opposites. The clash of the individual versus the collective may result in confrontation with others' egos and their willingness to do and take as they please to satisfy their selfish egos and personal needs. So during this period, unbalanced individuals who have not done their inner work or healed their childhood wounds or their shadow sides may find communications with other people confrontational. A focus harmonising the needs of individuals in their business commerce, with the sun in Leo, with the collective requirements to manage health threats and keeping people safe and out of hospital, will balance with the Aquarian focus. So from a personal or collective level, there'll be good news with processing projects in the right direction. There'll be possibly good news in some global regions with bringing virus numbers and transmission rates down during this period. So around the 18th of August, the new moon in Leo shines on the sun. There'll be possibly good news on August 20 related to boundaries, lifting of restrictions on commerce and movement and curfews and martial law. There is potential during this period for exciting news with release of virus vaccine that is proven effective and be deployed to countries and individuals most in need around the world. The sun in Leo rules creative self-expression, so this is a good time to engage in creative activities and music projects. A great time to develop new skills and gifts. In September, Saturn and Jupiter move forward again, and they'll join Pluto and Saturn and later Mars. So this full moon in Aquarius will be a time to remember what you did, what you witnessed, what you learned and engaged in. Globally and personally, it's a time of awakening. It's a revolution of the mind, of the body. It's a soul awakening and a societal awakening on a global level. This is a period of the beginning of the big aha moments as we enter into the new golden age of Aquarius. During this revolutionary period, one should remember to stay cool, calm and collected. And remember, don't use guns or weapons, as guns are dangerous. They can hurt, kill and maim people. Be mindful of your words, as they too can harm, maim and kill people. Instead, spread love, creativity, truth and goodwill across the world in random acts of kindness. Sow the seeds of love rather than the seeds of discord. Propagate peace and joy rather than anger and distrust. And enjoy the revolution. The animal spirit oracle cards for the Aquarian full moon from August 3, 2020 are Antelope Spirit and Swan Spirit. Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. With their graceful long necks, swans are able to reach into the depths. When Swan Spirit arrives, you are called to take a deep dive beyond what is easily available on the surface. You may think you know what is best for you, but take the plunge into the depths of your awareness, for there is a knowledge that you are not aware of and of great treasures to discover. Deeper understanding awaits you, and a perspective that comes from greater self-knowledge is what you need right now to better understand a situation or a relationship. And once you've come to know yourself more intimately, so too you'll come to know others as well. So Swan Spirit asks you to go beyond the surface of what's happening in life and the world around you and others, and resist the temptations of superficial appearances. Know that there is much deeper potential for loving connections, forgiveness and mutual understanding. Now is the time for a deep dive, to ask why, to ask the deeper questions of yourself, and you are led by the grace of Swan Spirit. The message of protection that Swan Spirit has for you is to talk yourself into deep diving into something just because you see the potential of things instead of what they really are now. The necessary work and patience involved may not be the best use of your energy. Have you seen the potential in someone and think if you love and support them, they'll become the person who knows you love them beyond all others? Have you stepped into an opportunity that feels too good to be true and might not turn out the way that you hope? Now is not the time for selective, limited perceptions that can lead to misjudgment. Instead, this is a time for going deep and being honest about what you find as you explore the depths. Have no fear, for whatever you find will help you love and understand yourself and others and make better choices. Can you sense Swan Spirit calling you to the deep dive and to resurface to choose again? The second animal spirit totem for the Aquarius full moon is Antelope Spirit. Life is speeding up. When Antelope Spirit comes into your life, you're being reminded of the quickening of your personal evolution as a powerful co-creator. You're being told to unequivocally that it's time to get moving, set your intentions, and take action towards making your dreams real. There is an intensity you can feel, and it is important to take advantage of this energy right now. If you have a plan for your career or financial abundance, now is the time to step it up. If you're asking about relationships, make the first move. Just know that the intentions you have set in motion are coming together now at warp speed, so stay alert and keep things up. Things are getting interesting when Antelope Spirit comes and moves quickly into your life. Antelope Spirit's protection message for you is, do you feel how fast the world is changing? Like everything is moving at warp speed. It's hard to control desired outcomes or set fixed goals because the time you get there, you'll actually have moved beyond it. Now is the time to let go and enjoy the exhilarating ride as intentions you have set in motion in the past are coming into form with lightning speed. Your job is to stay the course even if the pace feels dizzying. You may find you'll change your mind half a dozen times or more as you improve your offerings. This is all fine. Make peace with the pace, for if you ride this quickening energy, you will solve challenges quickly and effortlessly instead of being bogged down. The best way forward to use this energy is to let go of worries and stay mindfully present as you continue to take action. Also, if something is not going to be in your best interest, no matter how badly you want it, Antelope will quickly remove it so you can move forward with what is truly meant for you. If something is taken away, be grateful and keep moving forward. This is not the time to sit still, but to breathe deeply as you move forward with velocity. The song lyrics that reflect the energies from the Aquarian full moon from the August the 3rd, 2020 over the following month are I Want to Break Free by Queen, Shout by Tears for Fears, and We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. Thank you for listening. Thank you also for liking, sharing and subscribing to our Earth Goodwill content. Namaste.